I'm probably just gonna load all this stuff up on the cart. And so I have to figure out the trees. Barbed cut. It's on there pretty good. I haven't tightened it yet. Tighten it here, all the way down. Way I connected the foot valve right. So I need to have that pipe. The house is just up there, planting some stuff. So I got the last one. Make sure it flows. Fill in. Now it can handle. Can't tell how far it's going. So I might put on a new hose clamp. So far, have this foot pump, and then coming out the top of the pump, tree line, some stakes. Actually, it's pretty good. 100 feet. If I do have to drive through here, I don't want to. Probably just gonna load all this stuff up on the cart and then just take it back there down into the creek. So I'm just putting all the stuff in the box. I'll leave this here because I don't need that, but take these buckets off. We got stuff everywhere, but so now I'll take this over down to the creek. Out crazy. Pretty hot. It's even getting pretty hot. Reaching up to the 80s now. We're just in April. Everything's greening up. The trees are getting green. I'm thinking about ordering some stuff to grow some mushrooms with, because this would be the perfect time to try to inoculate some mushrooms and some tree logs. So I thought about doing that. I've never grown mushrooms before. I'm trying to looking into seeing what all we need to grow them. But it doesn't seem too difficult. I'm gonna cut the trees down. Some trees that are probably about 4 to 8 inches in diameter. And I'm gonna cut them into logs that are about maybe 4 feet long, and then I'm gonna probably use the oak trees, because supposedly oak trees are good for growing mushrooms with. And I got to figure out where I want to put them, but I was thinking probably putting them by the creek where there's moisture. They need humidity and airflow, and I could water them by the creek if I needed to. Or I thought about putting them by the house, in the trees by the house. But I'm thinking I might put them back here, see how many mushrooms we grow. Supposedly if you plant the trees, I want to do it now, because if you plant them, it can take over a year before you get mushrooms for some of them. It might take 6 to 12 months before we harvest anything, but But once we plant it, if it gets established, we can harvest mushrooms for, I mean, over the next 3 to 7 years off of it. So thinking about growing like lion's mane, the shiitake, and then the reishi mushrooms. Those all should be able to grow in this forest in our climate, and they grow well on oak trees. So we got a good amount of oak trees and some other hardwoods like pecan. So I'm gonna try to get into that. But yeah, so I made it here to the creek, and so I had to figure out exactly how the setup would be. I want to see if I can get it set up today so I can test it out. And so we'll have something like this. I'm either going to use a generator, or I might use the all powers power station and just bring it down here and plug it up. I might eventually use one of those 12-volt batteries, depending on how often I have to pump and how long I can keep those charged. But because we do have a solar panel I might use for it. But anyway, so I have the pump somewhere around there. I'll stabilize it. Eventually I'll put it in a box or one of those totes. But so we'll have the inlet pipe. I'm going to connect a hose right here, which will be the inlet. The hose will go into the water, and then it'll come up through this strainer, and then it'll pump out. And so you see Layla just hopped in there. So that's a little shallow shelf area. But Layla's crazy, so. But anyway, so this part will come out, and then it will go up to that pipe. Up there, yeah, it's hot, Layla. I gotta move this string off the, you on this string, Layla. But yeah, so I don't know, if I can get it to hold enough water, it would be nice, but it's leaking out pretty quick. I mean, it's dropped already a foot within a matter of, I don't know how many days, 4 or 5 days. So I don't think it'll stay full like that all the time at that rate, because eventually the rain will slow down. But yeah, so I think what I need to set up first, so this is a foot valve, and then I guess I'll cut this hose. So maybe I'll connect the pump first, and then I'll set up the inlet pipe. And so I had to figure out exactly how the setup will be. I want to see if I can get it set up today so I can test it out. And so we'll have something like this. I'm either going to use a generator, or I might use the all powers power station and just bring it down here and plug it up. I might eventually use one of those 12-volt batteries, depending on how often I have to pump and how long I can keep those charged. But so I have the pump somewhere around there. I'll stabilize it. Eventually I'll put it in a box or one of those totes. But so we'll have the inlet pipe. I'm going to connect a hose right here, which will be the inlet. The hose will go into the water, and then it'll come up through this strainer, and then it'll pump out. And so you see Layla just hopped in there. So that's a little shallow shelf area. But Layla's crazy, so. But anyway, so this part will come out, and then it will go up to that pipe. Up there, yeah, it's hot, Layla. I gotta move this string off the, you on this string, Layla. But yeah, so I don't know, if I can get it to hold enough water, it would be nice, but it's leaking out pretty quick. I mean, it's dropped already a foot within a matter of, I don't know how many days, 4 or 5 days. So I don't think it'll stay full like that all the time at that rate, because eventually the rain will slow down. But yeah, so I think what I need to set up first, so this is a foot valve, and then I guess I'll cut this hose. So maybe I'll connect the pump first and then I'll set up the inlet pipe. So I got this little 1-inch barb coupling piece, and then I got a 1-inch hose clamp, and I just use the chainsaw flathead screwdriver and use that to connect this hose to the other hose. So let's see. So that's the hassle, is I'm gonna have to do this through the trees, but shouldn't be too bad. So I'm gonna just take this in. I might use that end actually. Let me rotate it a little bit. Okay, so I laid it out. It's hard maneuvering this through the trees, especially with one hand, but so sit that there. So pretty much I take this 1-inch barbed coupling and it's gonna go inside of this hose right here. So that goes on this end. So now this is what it looks like. It was pretty tight fit, so I probably should have put the hose clamp on first before I put the barb fitting in there, but I had to push it on there, so it's on there pretty good. I haven't tightened it yet. Just do the same thing for this side and take the hose clamp and I'm gonna just fit it around this pipe. Okay, so now I got this one on. I got this one on. It's pretty tight getting them on there. I had to kind of loosen them a little bit to fit them, to pull them down some. So pretty much I'll just be connecting them, putting that barb into there. Now I got them both on there. I'm not sure if I got this one on tight enough, but we'll see. So I want to have enough. So I got them both on. I'm not exactly sure how tight I got this one, if it's gonna be tight enough. I might have to put a new clamp on. But so I want to have enough length coming from here all the way down so that I can move the pump if I need to. I can move it around wherever I want to. So I'll probably make this end a little bit long, just to give me some flexibility. So now I've cut this length off So you can see this is how long it'll be. And I'll connect this into the pump. So I made it long just so I can move the pump if I need to. And so I'm gonna do the same way I connected the other end. I'm gonna just put this on there and I'll put a hose clamp in between them. Let me grab a hose clamp. Alright, so I just put the hose clamp on it. Fit that on there. See if I can film it. Try to give it a little bit of length, like 1/4 of an inch on this end, so that you can get a good seal. Turn that. Yeah, it's on there pretty tight. Looks like it's on there pretty good. Yeah, I think that's on there. I don't want to break the hose clamp. I might have broke the other one, but yeah, that's on there pretty tight. And so now I'm gonna cut another piece of the tubing right here. I'll cut another piece for the inlet pipe. So I gotta decide how long I want that to be, because it'll be going into the water, so it'll need to be deep enough to reach. It can't be over 26 feet, I think it was. That's how far. So now I cut this piece. I'm just using this. It's really a PVC pipe cutter, but it works pretty good for cutting these pipes too. So I don't know, that might be a little too long, but wanted it to be long enough to reach. I might shorten it, I don't know. We'll see once I connect it to the pump if it'll I might shorten it, but anyway, so I'm gonna connect this hose using another hose clamp. I'm connected to this foot valve right here. So that'll help keep some of the leaves and debris from coming in. And it'll help keep the pump primed, so it'll work more efficiently. Won't have to constantly pull water up. The foot valve will keep water in the pipe. So I'm gonna connect this using the hose clamp. I'm gonna connect it to this end right here. Well, first I'm gonna connect the foot valve, and then I'm gonna connect the pipe to this end. So now I've gotten the foot valve connected to the pipe, so it's starting to come together. So I got to figure out exactly how long I want this to be, because it's kind of have to drop in the water. I thought about eventually putting like a float on it, so that it's not sitting on the bottom. It'll float on top of the water, because I don't really want that sitting on the dirt. But pretty much I'll have that. It needs to be deep enough so that when the water level goes down, I can still get it in the water. It also needs to be far enough so that the pump is further away from the bank, I can still get it in there. So I think And I gotta see how long this is exactly. I might cut it a little bit shorter, but what I really need is a float on it, so that it can float on top of the water. So I'm not sure what I'll use for that, but something, I'll put something on it. So now it's starting to come together. You can see I hooked up the inlet pipe right here, going from the water into the pump, and then the outlet comes out the top. So I ended up not cutting it. I'm gonna see how well it works first. I try to straighten the pipe out a little bit because it curves so much. So I had to bend it a little bit to get it to kind of go straighter into the water. But I said I'm gonna put a float on the end, so I got to figure out what the best way to do that will be. But I'm gonna put a float on it so that it'll float and not go down to the bottom, so I can get some of the cleaner water that doesn't have as much sediment in it, because if it's on the bottom, it's just gonna pull up a lot of dirt. So I need to have that pipe floating up higher. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna test it out first before I continue connecting the rest of the pipes together. I want to see, to make sure the water flows, so to make sure I can get the pump working before I finish it. So yeah, I'm gonna just do that. I'm gonna get the kinks out of this line, and then I'm gonna see if I can get the pump going. I'm gonna bring the generator down here and yeah, see if we can get it going. So actually, instead of starting the pump, I'm gonna just connect all the lines first. So I got this pretty straightened out. Going up through here. So I'm gonna come through and trim all these little trees and stuff, and so I'm just go ahead and go all the way up to the house and connect all the pipes together. So now I got this one connected and down to the creek. Getting there. So this would be a good area to get some oak trees to cut the logs for the mushrooms. We also got to cut a lot of wood for firewood. So I do a lot of cutting. So now I got this one connected. I'm not that confident in how well the hose clamps are getting on there. I'm not sure if I'm getting them on there good. I might need to get a different screwdriver or use a drill, but it seems like the hose clamps are kind of getting stripped or something, but I'm not sure. We'll see if it leaks. But got those connected. So I'm just gonna pull it further up. You see we're getting close to the house. You see the Layla and the sheep over there. So I'm just pulling the hose further up. Pull it just enough. And pull this one. Maybe I should go around the other. Now we got the house is just up there. hose will get caught up on stuff, bend up. Try to just gently pull it and kind of rotate it. Let's go ahead and lay this out. Let's see. Okay, so that will lay about right there. Then I'll pull this one further back. Now let's go ahead and connect these two. So now I got these two connected. And I really don't like these hose clamps because it feels like I'm like stripping them or something. So I'm not sure how well they'll work, but we'll see. So we got that lined out. Now I just got to pull this hose back. I can't remember if this was the last hose. It might all be connected now, or it might be. I think it's one more. It's one more hose left I got to connect. So we'll do that. Let's pull this one back. I try to just let it naturally unroll itself because it'll start bending up if you pull it too much, because it's pretty windy. Super windy. I don't know where the sheep went either. I see them way down there. But yeah, so let's pull this out. Yeah, should be good. So I'll lay it somewhere about over here. So that'll give us some extra room, some space if we need to move the hose somewhere. And so I'll kind of curve this around because this area will be planning on planting some stuff. Our little crop field area. So I'm gonna connect these last hoses. And I'm gonna pull this back, and then I'll connect them. So I got the last one hooked up. Of course, on the last one I sliced up my hand a little bit, but just glad I got them all connected. So now I just got to pull this up closer to the tank so it's not kinked up or nothing. Make sure it flows. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a valve on the end so that I can open and close it, stop the water. So if it works, the water should flow all the way up, and then I'll be able to shut it on and off with the valve. So we'll see. So I gotta go get the stuff I left by the creek, but we got the hose going all the way to the tanks. Then it comes all the way down here. Past the hay bales. Here. So I gotta get the kinks out. From pulling it, it got bent up because it's annoying because the way they wrap it up, it's coiled up and it bends up. So I'm gonna have to get these out. But it goes all the way down to the pump. So I got those kinks out. I'm just following the line and make sure there's no other kinks in it. I'll fix the pipe a little bit better up. I'm gonna come through and trim all this stuff down, and I gotta put that chain on the chainsaw. I'll come through and cut some stuff and clear a path all the way through. eventually I plan on opening a lot of this up. And so, looks good so far. Keep going down. So far, so good. It goes down the pump. So what I need, I'm gonna take this stuff back. So I just needed this piece really to connect the valve. I'm gonna use this to connect the valve to the hose. But I'm gonna bring everything back, and then I'm gonna bring the generator down here. We'll see if we can get it running, get the pump going. So this is a leftover pipe that I didn't use. So I used almost the whole 600 feet. I made it longer than I was gonna make it originally, just so I'd have extra length, just in case. Just in case I want to move it around, but we'll see if it's not too long. Hopefully it's not too long, because I'll have to shorten it. I think it should work, but we'll see if the water doesn't make it. I may have to shorten the pipe. We'll see. Push the sheep over closer to the house real quick. See, they're going a little far out. So I'm just coming around them, get them over closer that way before they end up. Layla usually stays with them though, which is nice. She goes wherever they go. Layla has now become a better livestock guardian dog than Blue. I didn't think that was possible. She does pretty good. So they've been eating all this brush and blackberry coming up. Probably fence them in back here somewhere eventually. Layla, move. Yeah, she gets in the way though. Makes them go the wrong way. So I don't know, maybe I can teach her to herd them. But I'll get them to go that way. I'll go on. That should be good. And this is the valve I was talking about, so see if I can connect this to the hose. Just gonna leave all this stuff back here somewhere. Leave it here for now. So I also need this. I got the valve, and I got that barb fitting, so. Okay, so I got the valve, ball valve onto the hose. So I'll use this to shut it on and off. Eventually I'll probably connect something to it. So make sure I got it closed. That's what it looks like when it's closed. So I got this generator. I'm gonna see if I can go power the pump with it. Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. I don't know, we'll see. I'm afraid the hose might leak, so we'll see how well that works out. I gotta try to find my screwdriver too. I lost it. I think it fell out of my pocket. But yeah, let's see. I don't know where the sheep are at either. I gotta see if they went. Let me see where they're at real quick. Oh, I see them. Back in the trees. So I got a water jug because I'm going to have to fill in some water into the pipe, or into the pump. Let's see, we got that going into the trees. Okay, so I got the generator over here. It's just a small inverter generator. I think we got it from Walmart. So to start the pump, I was thinking, had I been thinking, I would have brought the manual for the pump. I read through it the other day, but I should have brought it with me. So I kind of remember. So I'm gonna see if I can just get it started. I know you fill this up with water, so I had to pour some more in this jug, but this will help prime the pump, because you shouldn't run the pump dry, or else it'll damage it. So let me get some more water from down here. It's a little more clear. Fill it down here. Water's kind of cold. So I don't know, maybe I'll pump the water from here. I might actually pump it from here. But I don't know. We'll see. That's what the water looks like here. You see it's kind of flowing downstream. Yeah, so the water is flowing a little bit, so I don't know. It's the water that seems to be seeping from beneath, but I'll keep it here for now. So try to pour some more water in there. I really don't know how much to pour. I'm gonna try to see if it's full. I can kind of see water in there. So I think that's as full as it's gonna get. Kind of see it sitting in there. So I'll sit this here. Twist this cap back on. Alright, so I use this branch as kind of like a temporary float. Eventually I'm gonna put a little float or some kind of something to help hold the pipe up in the water so it's not sitting on the dirt. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the generator. Turn it this way. Sit over here. And so put that on choke. So that's on. Take this. So I'm gonna let it run for just a few minutes before I plug up the pump to it. So I'll let that run for a little bit. So that generator should be able to handle it. I know it can handle, I think 1800 watts. The pump shouldn't pull that many. I can't remember how many watts it pulls, but it was less than that. So pump should be primed. Once I plug it in, got this switch here. So I'm gonna put a board underneath this so it'll be more level. I don't like how it's tilted. Try to move it, but that'll be alright. Okay, so now I'm gonna plug up the pump. This will be the moment of truth. Does. Pump is on. Can't tell if it's sucking up the water or not. So I threw it in there. It's kind of in there, but it looks like it might be pumping water. So let's see. I'm gonna go test it on the other end. If I feel anything. No, I didn't feel like it's pumping. I can hear it though. So maybe it already pumped. Let's see. It's just air. That was weird. So it's blowing air. Let's see if water comes through. I don't know. So I think it's pumping. I hear the air when I close it and open it, but it may not be pumping strong enough. So I'm gonna go check and see how far it's going. See that? So that's weird. It's a lot of air pressure, so maybe it's just not pulling up water. So I went down and I started to check the line, and I could feel the water coming up, so I think it just took a while, but it's actually pumping now, so you can actually see it's a ton of pressure. It's not even open all the way, but yeah. So we got water. We don't have to haul it anymore, we can just pump it. So I'm gonna stick this in there. I'm gonna let it pump for a while. Should we fill them up? This will make it a lot easier. Instead of having to go back there and haul 2 barrels at a time, we can fill up all our tanks straight from the pond. It's pretty cool. Yeah, look at that. It's got pretty good pressure coming all the way down there from the pond. Or the creek, whatever you call it now, since it's leaking. So, yeah, it's pretty nice. It's really nice, actually. So now we should have enough water, at least for now. We still, long term, we'd like to get an actual water well. I know a lot of people say dig a shallow well, but I just feel like it's not reliable. It would be just about as reliable as the creek would be, because the shallow well might go dry in the summer, and I just wouldn't want to risk it, especially growing crops. But this will be good enough for now. So we got water coming all the way back there from the pond. Eventually I could use these same pipes if they're not damaged, if I can take care of them. We plan on getting a well here pretty soon, within the next couple months, if we can find somebody. So that'll be a real game changer. But for now, this will be nice. So we got water. So I don't know if Layla's trying to tell me something or what. I don't know where the sheep are at. Look at it over here. They might be ready to go back in the shelter. But yeah, they're back in there. That's so nice. Oh my goodness. I wasn't sure if it would work. It pumps the water. It took a little while. It took some time. It only took like a few minutes. That's nice. And so we'll use that. It'll be really good for irrigation. So eventually I might end up just keeping that for the irrigation and then having separate piping for the well. But I don't know, we'll see. But that's really good. So yeah. So we still got a good amount of water flowing. I have to waste it a bit. We got the water going in there. It's gonna be a while to fill them up. They're all connected, so they're pretty low. I hadn't pumped any water because I wanted to just set this up, so we hadn't hauled any water. So they're getting low. But yeah, you can hear the water flowing. It sounds kind of like a stream almost in certain areas. You can feel the pipe is like, it feels cool. Water. Gotta make sure there's no leaks because I think it's leaking right here. So I had to redo that connection. Had a feeling these were gonna leak. You see that? You see it's kind of leaking. So I need to redo that. It's not on there tight enough. So I might put on a new hose clamp. Some of the hose clamps were like, when I would tighten them, it was like they were stripped. For whatever reason, they weren't fully tightening. So I don't know if I messed it up or what. But so that one was leaking. See, these other ones are leaking. I don't think the first one was leaking. So this one doesn't look to be leaking. This one seems pretty good. It might be, I can't tell if it's a leak or not. My hand was already wet, but I don't know. If it's leaking, it's a real slow leak. As I get closer, start to hear the generator. Got this one. This one doesn't look to be leaking, so that one's good. See the water. I don't know if you can hear it. So that one should be good. Continue on down. Because the pipe feels moist from like the condensation, because it feels so cool. The water in the pond is kind of cold, and then it's warm outside, so it feels good. But let's see if this one's leaking. Yeah, this one's good. It's not leaking at all. So it's hard to tell because it feels wet, but just condensation and how cool it is and how warm it is outside. So far, seems to be not many of them leaking. Well, it's pumping. See the water kind of moving a little bit, but I don't think we'll make too much of a dent. We'll see. It's supposed to rain either tonight or tomorrow, I think, sometime. Feeling pretty cool right now. Sheep look happy. They've been eating, roaming all day. They've been doing pretty good roaming. As long as we can be here, we can keep an eye on them. And so when they look like they may get too far, we can push them back where we want them. Do y'all see this in the sky? You see those lines? These lines of lights flying in the sky. I don't know what the heck that is. It's hard to pick it up.